Chad Hughes here from XDA TV, and today I'm here to talk to you about a few things. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that I'll be giving the HD2 some love next week and the Samsung Epic 4G love the week after that. And though I'll be giving those phones lots of love in the next coming weeks, today I'm here to talk about StockSense, HTC Sense. Stock. It's one of the originals, and well, it needs some love because HTC put together a great ROM, and not only that, but it comes shipped on your phone if you buy an HTC device that's using the Sense UI, so you really can't go wrong with that because that's pretty much every single device. The basis for me running down the stock Sense ROM today is to prepare you for the onslaught of Sense ROMs that are going to be released over the next coming weeks and months, like the HTC Flyer Sense, and you also have Sense for the HTC Thunderbolt. A lot of these things have imported already, yes I know, but we're going to go over them in detail when they actually come out so you actually get to see the UI as it actually should be and not a port or maybe a slow port at that. So without further ado, I'm Chad Hughes and this is the XDA ROM Rundown. StockSense, people. Get over it. Chad Hughes here for XDA TV, XDA ROM Rundown, and today I'm doing StockSense, like I said prior to the XDA little intro in the video. One thing I need to note and let you guys know right off the bat is that if you're looking for a camera, you're going to go with the Sense camera. You're not going to want to use an AOSP camera if you're a photographer, simply because the AOSP camera does not hold a candle to the Sense camera, period. Especially in the newer upcoming Sense ROMs that we're going to talk about in the next coming weeks, it does not hold the candle, so that's the first thing. The main thing about Sense that people talk about is the UI. Now, the UI is just sleek, it's very intuitive, and it's all about widget-based integration. You have things like FriendStream over here, and FriendStream allows you to see any of your social networks streamed right here. Usually it's Twitter or Facebook. And what happens is, right here, you would see anything come up, but it's a widget. You have to remember that. It's a widget that's combining Twitter and Facebook. Things are going to come up. You can say anything you want right here from what's on your mind, as long as you're logged into your account. That is, I'm not sharing my account with you guys. I don't know you. You might be crazy. And you can also see what people are posting and saying. So that's one of the first widgets you'll see. The second thing you'll notice is the clocks. The clocks are just great. They're awesome. They're unbelievably pretty. This clock right here is a StockSense clock now. The weather animations for the HTC Sense clock just have separated it, miles and miles from other clocks on any AOSP ROM, basically, on any ROM period. The Sense ROM just has this clock that is absolutely beautiful. The animation captures eyes, it captures looks and head turns and all that crazy stuff, and it also captures the weather, and it lets you know how it is outside. Today's sunny and it's 43 degrees, although it's 5:30. It's sunny outside. Okay, so back to the widgets here. You have widgets that are just like amazing looking. The agenda, see, I have my agenda right here. I have to do an article for that, blah, blah, blah. You can skip down. You can see what you have to do. It's great. It's nice. It's lovely. And it's pretty. And it's right on your home screen. You just scroll to, wherever you decide to designate that desired widget, and it'll come up. You also have things like, if I scroll to my left, let me get out of here. Let me scroll to my left here, and you see I have HTC Mail. The HTC Mail kind of functions like the HTC text message widget, except with your email. Now, I will show you an example. If I go back and forth here, you see how it has a little effect, like, kind of like I'm flipping through a card thing, or like what do you call those, like a Rolodex kind of deal. That's the same kind of deal that it is with the HTC Mail widget here. It does the same thing. I just don't have an HTC Mail account set up because I just use the standard Gmail app, which is also great, by the way. The widgets are something that Sense is really big on, and they really drive. It's one of their driving forces. And I'll say it again, the weather animations right here, just with this HTC Sense clock. It's just great, it's just great, beautiful, it looks nice, and people love to see that. It might be something simple, but simple and subtle sometimes make the strongest impact. Another thing you want to talk about is the, the pinch to expose. You have 7 screens, number one. So these are all 7 of my screens, and when I pinch, like so, I get to see any screen. So I can pinch, zoom in, zoom out, whatever. I go like this. Oh, okay, I want to have my slacker. Okay, I want to see my HTC clock that does that beautiful weather thing. Oh, I want to go here and I want to play with this clock. Oh, I want to go to the left and I want to see what I have to do. It makes it a lot easier. The usability, I say this every week, usability is key because people do not want to have to shuffle through things to get done what they need to get done. They want quick business, and this will bring you quick business, as you can see, just from doing things like this, just pinching, the expose thing. When Apple, sorry to say, when Apple started that expose thing on the desktop, I was so happy because, I could find everything everywhere, and now, bang, it's right here on my phone, and I love it. Another thing you're going to notice about this ROM, sheer speed. It's just fast. HTC Sense is fast. People have it misconstrued rather. People say Sense isn't fast because, some people, you can't gauge speed off of one thing. I mean, you can't say, my screens aren't going extremely fast like they do in Launcher Pro, and then and there's some overshoot on HTC Sense, so it's slow. No, Sense is fast. It loads everything fast. It's great. I can click into my Gmail, it's loaded. I can click into pick anything. I can click into the desktop. It's right there. Maybe it's not as fast as these AOSP ROMs because they're just not on the same level as far as speed goes. Period. Especially because of look at the user interface. The layout is just it's more graphically intensive, and graphic intensive on a device like the Droid Incredible or some of the other HTC devices that don't have monster GPUs. It's not going to run as smooth as people are experiencing on a Galaxy S phone or maybe a Droid X. So you have to take that into consideration. But other than that, it's speed. Another thing you're going to notice is you're not going to lose your warranty. When you flash ROMs, when you do things like that, when you hack your phone, when you root your phone, doing things like that, installing flashing kernels and things like that, anything that the manufacturer says is, if they don't say it's from them and you do it, you're going to void your warranty. And one thing about stock Sense is that it comes stock with the phone. So you're getting a great ROM stock, and you're not going to void your warranty. So that's a plus, at least, right, for the HTC Sense. So, I would say take that into consideration. Some things you might not like. HTC Sense battery is crappy. I mean, they've tried to do some updates. They've changed the kernels around a little bit. They released radio updates. I'm actually using the frozen yogurt version, the Froyo Android 2.2, because I actually have an SLCD Droid Incredible, which might be why it looks a little bit sharper, because the AMOLED doesn't look as sharp, but it has deeper blacks. The blacks aren't deeper on this one, but they are. But the images and everything is just rendered a little sharper, just a little tidbit. But yeah, the battery life is not that great. I mean, you're gonna go through your battery. If you're a heavy user, you're gonna expect 6 to maybe 9 hours out of your battery, and that's being generous, and I mean that. If you're not a power user, if you're using your phone as a phone and to text message, depending on how long you have your screen on, how long you're on the phone, and how long you text message. I mean, if you text back and forth nonstop, you're not going to look at great battery. It's not great at battery management. There's really you're not flashing any kernels with this, or you're not going to get, a BFS scheduler, and you're not going to get, I'm going to change the CPU to 228 megahertz when the screen's off. It's not going to happen. So you got to remember you're dealing with stock Sense here. You got to remember the kernel. Although they've made some updates like fast charging and stuff like that, it's really it's really not holding a candle to AOSP ROMs. Other than that, the widgets drain battery. That's probably the only other con I can see here. Other than that, stock Sense, it's a good way to go, and I like it. I would recommend it. There are going to be a whole slew of stock Sense devices that I'm going to be touching over the next couple of weeks, not in a dirty way. And when I go to CTIA and things, I'm going to get my hands on as many Sense devices as I can and pass them on to you. Thank you to Russell Holly for having me on Breakfast with Andy. I had a good time. Breakfast with Andy is on Streamly TV on Sundays. I want to say 7 a.m. Pacific time, so that might be 10 a.m. Eastern? Yeah, I would say so. So check out Breakfast with Andy. Shout out to XDA developers for being the people they are and bringing together the community. And shout out to my co-worker Azrianok over there in his land with his nose and his boogers and his spit and his sickness, because I wish him a speedy recovery and I hope everything else goes well. Also, I'd like to say, everyone, please, if you can't say a prayer, because my niece is actually going to have surgery this week on her heart, and we want to wish her through the surgery and a very speedy recovery. We're all a little uptight about it. We're all a little depressed. I don't want to say depressed. We're all uptight about it, and I really want it to go well, and I hope that she has a speedy recovery, because I love my niece and I love my family. So thanks for your support. If you can, follow me at Chad Hughes XDA TV on Twitter. This is Chad Hughes for XDA TV, XDAdevelopers.com, signing out.